through the North Carolina Museum of Art, an educational outreach program. The opportunity to work with these students was amazing. The whole premise of it was like the opportunity to speak with these kids that will allow them to have power over their voices at a time when they're starting to figure it out. It's a participatory workshop, so it's not something that's really me teaching. I am in ways, but it requires their participation. It requires a back and forth engagement at every stage. In the beginning, getting to know each other, creating the work, the physical contract itself, that's also a participatory thing. So at every stage of this workshop, it requires both. And without that interaction, it just doesn't work. We would like to continue to cultivate our relationship with NCCU, North Carolina Central, and Dorothy Harrison Mitchell. Working with them added multiple layers for this contract, understanding a different perspective. I'm giving an art perspective to contract and contract law, but they're bringing in the law and all of that good juicy stuff of not only from an educator's point of view with Dorothy, but students' point of view who haven't yet passed the bar, can be a lot closer in age to these students, these high school students, who can lend perspective of why they made the choice. And as we dove into it, something that was really nice that we kind of fleshed out was tying it with students. I remember the conversation about advocacy, sticking up for someone other than yourself, which then aligned very well with what the community contract is, and thinking of like this engagement and security and care for your neighbor and people close to you, and collectively building a unit that strengthens our communities. So it was really great to have their participation and perspective, to kind of lend another layer, add another layer of depth, but also perspective to this workshop. Seeing it from a perspective of the teenagers, eye level, which was really great, of like understanding common acts of contract signatures, honor pledges, character pledges that you might have in high school, these terms and conditions, those are also contracts. So thinking of like they may know it, but they may not know it. And so like, you know, finding those open doors or avenues to kind of get through and begin a conversation to really assess these things. But that's also, oddly enough, a way of like giving them the ability to really have authorship of what the power of their own voice in these things, thinking that it's just something they signed, that they might not have the authority to renegotiate a contract or state their claim or take up space or have agency in those terms. A lot of times we can belittle a child's sense of understanding of what they need, right, as opposed to their needs and wants. And so like this way, it's just a good practice for them to kind of being like, you spoke about it with a young man who was there, like, it's okay, I want to play video games. Like that's within the realm of this and us respecting it. But then the contract and the nature of the workshop itself is not only for them to make statements and we sign, but also for us to share, us as like an adult, different age group, to also be equal in hierarchy and expose our vulnerabilities or our concerns, and have them, being as teenagers, have the authority to validate our needs and wants as well. So like evening out that hierarchy or that negotiation is really important to kind of like shift the dynamic of power within that space too. So if we can fine tune the specific group we can work with through the law school, there's more intentionality of these contracts existing out in the world to make change. Change that is off the work of these kids, that they're making change for other kids moving forward. So thinking of justice involved youth in different counties, these contracts can then go back out in the community and their voices be heard and seen, and could, you know, be in conversation with their greater community at large in their spaces to kind of like make change.